Welcome to Catholic News World.
Welcome to Catholic News World. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Steph. Here are this week's breaking news headlines.
In Egypt, at least 41 people were killed in a fire at a Coptic church in Cairo. After the fire broke out, there was a stampede among 5,000 worshippers at the church on Sunday, August 14, 2022. 18 children were among the dead. This was reported by the Courier. In addition to the many dead, at least 55 people are said to have been injured. The Ministry of Interior said that the fire was caused by a faulty air conditioning unit on the second floor of the church. A priest, named Abdul Masih Bakit, died in the Abu Sufyan church fire on Sunday, according to a church statement. The Orthodox, Holiness Pope Tawadros II, received a phone call from His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi of Egypt. During the call, His Excellency offered condolences to His Holiness on the death of a number of church members in the fire incident that occurred in the Church of Martyr Abi Sufyan in Mbaba, and confirmed that he is personally following the developments of the accident and the condition of the injured. Pope Francis sent his condolences to Pope Tawadros II, the head of the Coptic Orthodox Church, on Thursday, in a telegram signed by Cardinal Secretary of State Pietro Parolin. The Pope said he was deeply saddened to learn of the tragic event, especially the deaths of the many children. Pope Francis offered his heartfelt condolences and the assurance of his spiritual closeness to the injured and those affected by this tragedy. Police in Nicaragua abducted a Catholic bishop and detained priests and lay workers from a diocese headquarters in the early morning. In Nicaragua, Central America, police broke into the Catholic Diocese of Matagalpa headquarters and abducted a bishop who had been under house arrest for more than 2 weeks. Other priests, seminarians, and laity were taken in separate vehicles. Only Bishop Oscar Escoto remained in the Curia. It was in the early morning hours of August 19 that police raided the Curia and took Bishop Rolando Alvarez, according to a social media statement from the Diocese of Matagalpa. The bishop's location is unknown. The bishop had been detained in the diocesan office for 16 days with 11 others as police maintained a constant presence outside. Nicaragua's national police said in an August 5 statement that the bishop was under investigation for trying to organize violent groups, inciting them to execute acts of hate against the population, provoking an environment of chaos and disorder, disturbing the peace and harmony in the community with the objective of destabilizing the Nicaraguan state and attacking the constitutional authorities. The Diocese of Matagalpa requested prayers for the bishop and others abducted by the Ortega government. On Facebook they posted a prayer. On August 11, the Vatican, at the special session of the OAS Permanent Council focusing on the situation in Nicaragua, expressed concern over the treatment of religious in the country. Monsignor Juan Antonio Cruz Serrano, the Holy See's permanent observer, noted in a statement that the Holy See cannot fail to express its concern in this regard, while assuring those who are committed to dialogue as an indispensable instrument of democracy and guarantor of a more humane and fraternal civilization that it always wishes to collaborate with. He added that the Holy See appeals to the parties to find ways of understanding, based on respect and mutual trust, seeking above all the common good and peace. Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega has arrested priests, expelled the missionaries of charity and apostolic nuncio from the country, and closed Catholic media outlets and educational and charitable projects. A priest, Father Oscar Benavides, was also detained in the Diocese of Sayuna on the 14th of August and has been imprisoned in the El Chipote political prison, according to a source. Several bishops' conferences from other countries have expressed their solidarity and prayer for the Catholic Church in Nicaragua. Some Catholic nuns in the Philippines have been accused by the government of financing terrorism. Filipino nuns are accused of financing terrorism in the government's filing of a criminal case. This has sparked outrage among Catholic rights groups. Yucatan News reported that the case was filed against 16 people, including several nuns, for allegedly financing terrorists and violating the Philippines' anti-terrorism law. It was filed by the Justice Department on August 15 with a trial court in Iligan City in Mindanao. They are also accused of financing the Communist Party of the Philippines and its armed wing, the New People's Army, which is branded a terrorist organization by the government. The number and identities of the nuns remain undisclosed. The anti-terrorism law defines and penalizes terrorism financing as giving financial aid such as donations, which also include the transfer of any property or funds, or financial services and other related services, to an individual or group designated as a terrorist by the government. This was what Justice Department lawyer Miko Clavano told reporters on August 15. Clavano also said that if the court agrees with the Justice Department, it can issue an arrest warrant against the accused, including the nuns. They were not given an opportunity to defend themselves. If found guilty, the sisters would face up to 40 years in prison and a fine of between 500,000 to 1 million pesos, about $10,000 to $20,000 in the US. The Justice Department said that the charges were based on the testimonies of witnesses, namely 2 former members of the New People's Army. Human rights groups, however, said the Justice Department railroaded the filing of the case in secrecy before the accused could defend themselves. Some cases take months or even years, but the case against the sisters took only weeks. They were not given an opportunity to defend themselves because authorities knew they were not involved in any crime, said Samahang Pilipinas, a Catholic lay group in the Philippines. The Student Christian Movement of the Philippines, an ecumenical youth group, said the Justice Department should present proof of whether the complaint was intentionally made known to the sisters or whether it was hidden so the government could have a swift resolution. Members of the church have often been accused by the government of helping communist rebels through their mission work. Activists, journalists, politicians, and various organizations have also been subjected to the same treatment for allegedly supporting the NPA. Cardinal Zen of Hong Kong will go on trial in September along with other pro-democracy advocates. The Cardinal will go on trial from the 19th to the 23rd of September. Asia News reports that the Cardinal will be tried, along with 5 members of the pro-democracy movement, for failing to register the charity, of which they were trustees. The defense will invoke the right to associate, as provided for by Hong Kong's constitution. The West Kowloon Court set the trial date for Cardinal Zen and 5 well-known members of the pro-democracy movement, who are accused of failing to properly register the humanitarian fund of which they were trustees. The decision came at a preliminary hearing chaired by Judge Ada Yim, as reported by the Hong Kong Free Press. The police had arrested the city's Bishop Emeritus and the other defendants on the much more serious charge of collusion with foreign forces, in violation of the national security law, imposed by mainland China, in the summer of 2020. Standing trial along with the Cardinal are the well-known lawyer Margaret Ng, singer-activist Denise Ho, former member of the Legislative Council, Leg Ko, Sid Ho, academic Hui Pekung and activist Zi Qingwei. Sid Ho is already in prison for taking part in an unauthorized demonstration. Several pro-democracy advocates have been charged with the same offense, including Catholic tycoon Jimmy Lai, following the imposition of the national security law in June 2020. Until it dissolved itself last October, 612 Humanitarian Relief Fund helped thousands of pro-democracy protesters involved in the 2019 protests. All the defendants have pleaded not guilty, their lawyers challenging the claim that the charity was required to register under the Society's ordinance.
Watch our programme every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Catholic News World channel. God bless.
Please subscribe to Catholic News World's YouTube channel. Thanks and God bless.